Welcome back to another week of Balancing It All. This is week number 2 of studying for my big clinical exam, which is a huge deal whenever you're a social worker. We started last week. This week we are continuing the routine. We are continuing balance because I am trying to sprint, but I'm trying to do it in a sustainable way that I don't burn myself out. So we're still working full time. We still have our part-time content creation gig happening and also a full study schedule, along with things like healthy habits, having a relationship. There's a lot to balance, and we're going to try to do it really well this week. My strategy lately has been time blocking. This is what this week looks like. So we just finished out work for the day. That's this big coral chunk. Up here, you don't see it. I did wake up at 5 a.m. this morning and finished editing a video. So that was the whole thing that honestly I'm probably going to add into my calendar just to give myself credit for work. And then right here, we're in this little bitty time where we are about to get started with the study section for tonight. I'm trying to do 2 hours every single day and then just fit in some other things that I would still like to do, such as housework as needed, kind of walk around and see what needs to be done, stretching, stretch out the tight body, and also trying to read still, plus or minus some YouTube work. We'll kind of have to see. But I literally just got home from work. It was a busy Monday because I was making it be busy because I was trying not to put off any tasks for myself later in the week. I was trying to, as many as I knew I needed to get done today. There's still some that are obviously going to come up later in the week and some that I didn't get done today. But I feel like it was a very productive Monday, which is putting me in a good headspace to begin this week. My goal every single night is to do about 2 hours of studying. This week specifically is my assessment and diagnosis week. This chapter is a hefty one, and I also think it is a very important one for the test, and I also think it's probably one that I'm going to be writing quite a bit of things down, especially if it's things that I don't remember as much. So we're starting assessment and diagnosis today. It's a 74-page chapter, and so I'm giving myself 7 days. I've kind of allotted 7 days. Obviously, we can adjust it to be more or less about 10 pages a day with 4 to spare. I'll just kind of see how it goes. Last week I had this whole yes, this is my first week studying type of motivation. And this week it is continuing, but also part of me is okay, it's a little less fun. But part of balancing it is doing it even when it doesn't feel fun because I have goals that I am trying to achieve, and learning 74 pages worth of assessment and diagnosis will help me get there. Today though, the 2 hours will be broken up by dinner, and then probably after I finish, I'll get myself a little drink to reward myself. A vitamin water, not a drink, a vitamin water to reward myself. The hardest part is always getting going. Once I'm going, I'm good, but getting going, that's the hard part. Focus was tough today. It was really tough today, but I made it through 14 pages. I decided to do the more than 10 today because upcoming is whenever I get into the actual DSM diagnoses, and so I would think those are going to be a little bit heftier. This first part just talked about different types of assessment, things that are important in assessments, what social workers are looking for in assessments. So it was useful, but it wasn't as note heavy as I was thinking maybe this chapter will be. And starting after this section that I just did is when I think it's going to start being more note heavy. But I made good time. It's 6:42, which is less studying time than my goal is for each day. But my brain, I just don't think that me sitting here longer would actually do that much better. And since I already did the 14 pages, I think I'm gonna release myself. I have a thumbnail to make. I'm gonna go sit on the couch over there, drink a little vitamin water, make that thumbnail, and then there's a couple, I don't know, we can get into them later. Sometimes whenever there's things in my mind, I just want to sit down and research and or make lists. And I kind of feel that's sort of the mood I'm in. And I think that's why I wasn't really focused during today's study session, is because of that. So I'm gonna let myself do that so that my brain can function well, hopefully. Study session number 1 of the week done. I don't feel great about it, but it's done. So I need to take that in stride. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We went to the gym this morning and did shoulders and tries, and I am making coffee back there. I'll make oatmeal in just a little bit. I've been having, I think I've shown you this before, but for breakfast, literally every single day for the past month. Like I've been having before that, but the everyday part has been the past month. Maybe one day a week or so I'll do cottage cheese, but I've been having this peak oatmeal from Kodiak because there is a lot of protein in it, not a lot of sugar in it. It tastes great. It's maple and brown sugar, which is the type of oatmeal that I would have like as a child. So I feel like there's a little bit of that sprinkled in there too, but super easy breakfast. That is also really good. So I'm about to make that. I just finished my coffee over here in my little Christmas mug that I treated myself to whenever it was like my first year post-grad and I was still pretty broke, but I was like, I need something festive. And so I got this mug. Oh, that's still really hot. Planning on today being a good day. I have a couple of things that I want to do whenever I get in. One of which is calling the regional office for the Social Security Administration. The Social Security Administration, I feel like, how deep do I go into it? I help apply for disability income for a lot of the kids that come through my unit because honestly, quite a few of them have like compassionate allowances of Social Security, and then other of them just like count as disabled by the government definition of the term, and so can qualify for Social Security income. The efficiency of the process is crazy. And there's just like a certain case right now that is really annoying me with how unresponsive they're being. But I also fear that that's just like the state of things right now. And probably whatever employee was working there, I hope they're still working there because it affects a 9-month-old. But that's what I'm to do today is to like escalate that situation, see if I can possibly make it better at all. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can expedite things at all, but I just wish things could work as they were meant to work. Another thing that I'll be doing is finding a list of pediatricians in a patient's area that accept Medicaid just so that they have options that then they can research, look up, see if there seems like there's a pediatrician that they would click with. I think those are the going into the day to-dos that I know of. And then I have told myself that I'm going to do the full 2 hours of studying tonight, no matter how many pages I get through, because I do think last night was just tough because my brain just like wasn't there and I was just like thinking about a lot of other things I wanted to do. That makes it sound deep. Like it wasn't even deep. It literally was just like I was listening to a good book. Like I was listening to a good book on audiobook all day and I was sitting there and I was like, I just want to be listening to my book. So it was just like petty things like that I just like could not focus my brain. And so today's gonna be better, and I think it's gonna just like put both AirPods in, really lock in with the music, like be there for 2 hours and see the studying that I can do. I do think I'm also getting a little bit to where I'm feeling like it's getting tougher not knowing when I'm gonna take my test, because right now it's like, okay, I'm studying like this, but like my application is just pending and it's gonna be pending for at least like 3 more weeks minimum. And so thinking through that, I'm like, well, do I really have to be studying? And like, yes, I do, because I would like to be in a place to where as soon as I can take the test, I can. So I'm like doing this now so that I can do that when the time comes. But it does just make it, I feel like, harder to keep motivation. I ended up scrapping the video that talked about this weekend, but Zach and I became plant parents this weekend. We now have a lot of plants. Roll the film. We've got plants, 2 indoor ones that we're planning on. This guy, oh, I forget his name, Dracania sanderiana. I'm sure he has like a colloquial name that's different than that, but he's an air purifier and he'll be inside. And then this is a plant that I used to have in college, but I had a much smaller one. This is a Fittonia, or like a pink angel plant. And then we have some plants for outside plants. Over here, get him out without hurting him. We have a balloon flower, so that's what the bloom looks like. I don't know how much longer like we would have a bloom versus it'll just be the greens left. I'm not sure, but we got 2 balloon flowers that are gonna try to be outdoor plants. And then we also got, oh gosh, he's heavy. Oh, might just have to show you him. This is Pancake. I forget exactly what his scientific name was, but his non-scientific name was Pancake arbor vitae, I think. And then this is a sky pencil, which I think is also a Japanese holly. We're gonna do some, sorry that I didn't leave that open for you. We're gonna do some repotting, get them all ready to go. Fun little activity. This guy's our lucky bamboo, and I've been having him in our bedroom because I think he's so cute here. I do think I'm gonna move him out just like during the day, sometimes to another window, because our bedroom doesn't get that much sun, slash if any. Like there's obviously light coming in, but he's gonna go out to the window today. Also this braid, I haven't done a braid like this in a very long time. Like the middle part times braid, I feel like can be hard. I usually would pull pieces out. I think I'm just gonna let them fall naturally on their own because I imagine that they will. We'll see, TBD, no idea. All I have left to do is pack my lunch, which I've been having these like discount salads from Kroger. It's just their salads salads in their kind of like deli section, but going on Sundays, they usually have salads that are like sell by the Monday. All of the stuff's still fine in there, so I feel fine eating them through the week, but because it's like the sell by date is coming up, they're like $2 to $3, which has been saving me money because at the hospital, I get much less good for me, worse for me food for much more expensive. So that's been feeling like a win. Today's gonna be a great day. Today's gonna be a great day for me and for you. I feel it, I know it. No matter how the day goes, whenever we get home today, back to the studs. My goal for today is less crashing out, more behaving myself, which means I'm gonna have to be stricter about phone pickups, and I'm gonna have to be stricter about just like sitting here studying truly. Yesterday, I gave myself so many excuses to get up. I had to go get my water bottle, I had to go get my AirPod case, I had to go get dinner, I had to go get my will to live, and today I'm coming packed with everything I could possibly need so that I can sit down and truly just study. We're getting a little later start than 5. It's 5:08 because I speed washed my hair so that I wouldn't push it a little too far past hair wash day. And so I'm gonna truly like 2 hours tonight is the goal. Bust through as much of this chapter as I can. We're continuing in assessment and diagnosis. I fear that might be this whole week. We'll see. I don't know. Today at work was super busy, but it was all stuff that like I got to pick to do, like all stuff I was wanting to do. And honestly, it's like the whole rest of the week's to-do list. I just knocked everything off almost. Obviously stuff will come up that I don't know about, but some of it today was working with the SSI disability like I told you. Some was like helping schedule continuity of care, such as pediatrician appointments, WIC appointments, transportation to and from those, helping with like meal assistance at the hospital, making sure parents can eat reasonably, helping schedule care conferences, little coordination of care meetings. What else did I do? I don't know, some other things too. I was moving it because I started bright and early in the morning. I was like, let me just knock everything off my list and then I can have a chill afternoon, and really my list just continued until the afternoon. But as of today, there's like nothing running over into tomorrow. Tomorrow will bring its own new things, but it felt really good to have a day like today. And also that meant my brain was just like active all day. Last week, I kind of noticed that affect me whenever I had like a busy day like this and then try to get into the studying. This week, we're going to push through. We're going to do it anyways. No matter how much I like my audiobook, we're not focusing on listening to it. I can listen to it after my 2 hours of studying. Balance doesn't mean taking all the things you want to do and making them just like perfectly even in your life. Balance means recognizing that in order to do the things you want to do, some days are going to have more of one thing and none of other things, but you just cycle through that so that you're not like not doing the things that you enjoy. Today, very study heavy. Feels very study heavy. Also, I'll be done at 7-Eleven now because it's 3 minutes later than whenever I first told you the time. I'll be done at 7-Eleven, and then I can read and then I can stretch and like do the other things that I still want to do to be a whole human person, while also recognizing that for these next 2 hours, my balance is 100% studying. Let's get to it. I have blown through so many more pages than I thought I would because I thought this was going to be so like writing down, taking notes heavy. Really, it's going through the whole DSM-5, which is hefty, and you do have to know quite a bit about like disorders and criteria and what the different categories are. And also, I think I just forgot that like I've learned this a lot. Like in my head, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to really like take this down. And really, as I'm reading it, like maybe I don't know every single exact criteria and how many of them you need to meet just off the top of my head, but like I know enough for the test. Like the test isn't gonna ask me, I don't know, I can't even come up with a good example. The test isn't gonna ask me questions in a way that it's like so specific niche things about these disorders. It is going to be more vibes, more than vibes, okay, but it's going to be more like the idea, a mile wide and an inch deep for our knowledge. But a lot of these pages went so quickly because like, as you can see, let me find a good example. like this whole page is opioid related disorders. And so like it just lists basically every single like opioid use disorder, opioid intoxication with perceptual disturbances, with mild use disorder, with moderate or severe use disorder, without use disorder, with perceptual disturbances, with mild use disorder, moderate severe, without use, like opioid withdrawal, with mild use, moderate severe use, without use, opioid induced mental disorders, opioid induced depressive disorder, opioid induced anxiety disorder, opioid induced sleep disorder. Like that's what a lot of these pages were. So I was just like reading it and like putting my eyes on words, but I actually didn't take any notes because also I feel like it's kind of redundant to be like bipolar type 1, bipolar type 2, when like I know in my head what the difference between mania and hypomania is. And so I feel like it was kind of reassuring to know how much of this I feel like I already know, but it also, like I said, made me finish up a lot more pages than I thought I would, which is a good thing. I started on, wait, I showed you. What did I start on? Was it 194 that I started on? Could it have been? Yes, it was 194 that I started on, and I'm ending on 241. That's crazy. And so like there was some vocab at the end, but again, it was things that I feel comfortable with. So it's nice knowing that these are things I feel okay with. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should check like in this section what I got when I took the practice test without studying. Well, okay, and see, that's the thing. I need to go through and actually see like what questions I missed and got right because I haven't done that part yet. In the assessment and diagnosis section on the practice test, I only got 57% of them right. So like it must be that I know the knowledge, but I don't know how the test is testing it. Like question strategies for the tests of this knowledge. I will say medications is a tough spot for me. I don't know medications all that well. I feel like I knew them more whenever I worked in juvie at my previous job because then I would have clients that almost all of them were on psychotropic medications, if we're going to be honest. And so then in my head, I'd be like, oh, I know that this kid is on this medication. And so then if the test asked like what types of symptoms does this treat or something, I could then think in my head like, okay, this kid's on this medication. They have these types of symptoms. So probably that medication is addressing those. I'm so much further removed from psychotropic medications now. So maybe that's where my difficulty on the practice test. I don't know. We'll have to suss that out later. But that's kind of the remaining part of the chapter that I think I'm going to leave is the medication part of it, just because I know there's tricks of like how the word ends and like what's it for. And I mean, there are ones that I just like recognize too, but it also gets hard with like brand name versus the real name and generic name and everything that comes with it. So that'll be my next step. Tomorrow will be a medication day. Right now is going to be a dinner time. I have a proposition. I don't know how to go over. Hear me out. I don't think I'm studying today. I think I'm going to take the night off of studying. Reason being, because of all of the pages I got through yesterday, I am like now ahead in my schedule by a couple days because I didn't know how to plan it out for real. And my schedule is still very fine time. Like I'm still getting done before I even will know if I'm approved to test or not. So like I'm okay on that aspect. And so since I did so many pages yesterday and I'm not really like in the mood for studying that much tonight, it would definitely be like sitting down and forcing myself again tonight, which is okay and can happen sometimes and needs to happen sometimes. I just don't think it needs to happen today necessarily. Like there's not enough pressure that I have to do that today. Something also playing into this, I have made the decision to transition to Fable instead of Goodreads. My kind of like reading tracking habits lately have been, lately for the past few years have been Goodreads and Storygraph. And I keep track of both of them because Goodreads for the like community, seeing what friends are reading aspect, and then Storygraph for the tracking aspect because they like make cool graphs and various things that Goodreads doesn't. But I always go between the two, which is kind of a lot to do like between the two. I also I'm feeling a draw to move away from Goodreads powered by Amazon and to go to Fable. I feel like a lot of the like booktube girlies that I watch go to Fable and are preferring Fable now. And I downloaded it earlier and didn't really give it a full chance. And so I downloaded it again and now I'm going to give it a full chance. I'm going to move all of my reading tracking there. But that means that today I was like entering books that I've read. I was updating my want to read and being more picky on my want to read. There's a part of me that feels like completionist and I felt like I needed to move my entire want to read list from Goodreads to Fable. But then I realized like this is a good chance to restart. So I went through and I added things that I still want to read that I've added to my want to read in 2025. And then I kind of just figure anything else beyond that, like that's been sitting on my Goodreads want to read for longer than that, if I really should read it, it will find its way back to me. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So with that, I've spent like a very reading heavy day around like planning reading and getting excited about reading and like figuring out what books I want to read. And so now I just like need to sit down and read. I feel like we're not quite there yet because I do need to like make food. I might tidy up a little bit. We're not in desperate need, but I'm trying to default towards cleanliness and not wait necessarily till we're in desperate need. So I'll do those things first, and then I really just want to curl up and read, because also the book I'm reading right now is like 250 pages. It is not a long book, and it's taken me a lot of weeks so far, and I'm only like 30% of the way through it. I've been listening to audiobooks. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, but I want to read with my eyes, and I feel like there's no excuse to be only that far into that book with all of the time that I've had it. With that, and this is a little sneak peek, I do kind of want to start doing like a little bit of reading videos again, not anything like super regular, not on the BookTube channel, just on this one, but maybe instead of doing like a reading wrap up in a monthly reset, I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll just do like monthly reading vlogs, sort of, to where as I'm reading the book through the month, I can talk about them in the moment instead of just like sitting down and talking about them all at once in a reset video. I think that could be kind of cool. So like my brain is just, the creativity is flowing a little bit. I don't know yet what the creativity will do, but it's flowing a little bit. And I also feel like whenever I'm in a creative mindset, that's just not the night for learning about psychotropic medications and memorizing psychotropic medications. There will be a night for that. There has to be a night for that, just not tonight. My 4:55 workout this morning did not happen. I don't know if you noticed I didn't mention it, and it's because my 4:55 alarm went off this morning, and it was like a conscious decision, but I wasn't conscious as I was making the decision, if that makes sense. Like I remember deciding this, but it wasn't like it was sleep Anna that was deciding this. I was like, if I just lay here still for long enough, then Zach won't make me get up. Like that's what I was thinking, and it was true. Zach didn't make me get up, and so I got to sleep like an extra hour, and that means leg day is going to be tomorrow since it wasn't today. I will say that like this is now our second rest day this week, which is fine, like sounds good, but I do think it's funny because Zach and I we don't like plan on our rest days. It'll more so be like one of us wakes up in the morning and it's just like it's not happening for me, like just realistically it is not happening for me today, and that's when we'll do a rest day. And so like on Monday, I believe it was, Zach woke up and like it was not going to be happening for him, but at that point I was already awake, and so that's when then I woke up and like edited a whole YouTube video, and like it was a very productive morning for me. But then it was like I didn't get that extra sleep though, because then at that point it would have been fragmented sleep. So like I was productive, but like it wasn't a rest day for me. So then here comes Wednesday. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, it's just not going to happen for me. Like we just need to align better, I think, or like better plan for things. I don't know. Not the end of the world. I don't hate it at all. I did read a bit. I will say I definitely stayed on TikTok for longer than I ideally would, which just happens sometimes. It's just how things go sometimes. But I did read my book, which felt good because that's like what I set out to do today. And then I also did things like cut up all of the fruit that we have in our fridge, which felt great, and made dinner for Zach and I. It was literally scrambled eggs, so don't think too highly of me, but made scrambled eggs for both Zach and I. And then Zach ended up leaving because he was helping a friend move. He's really been helping a lot of people move lately. I guess it's just like the season of moving, and if you have someone that can carry furniture more easily than other people can, he's a good resource to have around. So he went and helped people move for the rest of the evening, and that's when I did my like TikTok time and then some book time too. But I'm gonna try to, I get so tired, but then as soon as I'm laying here in bed, I'm like, I want to watch YouTube videos deep into the night. Realistically though, I should close my eyes and go to sleep. Something I haven't told you yet is that I would have included video clips of this so far because I am proud of it, but I like added and changed some decor around our bedroom, and I'm just loving it. I feel like it was just a perfect little touch that makes things very homey and fun around here. But good night. See you tomorrow morning. I have to go pick up Zach from his bus stop because today's Juneteenth, which we knew, but like he didn't think about in terms that his buses aren't running. And so I have to go pick him up from his bus stop and then take him to work / he'll take me to somehow one of us will get to work and the other one will drive. Someone's gonna drop someone off, but kind of funny that he's standing at his bus stop and he called me and was like, my bus isn't coming. So we'll go rescue my husband and then we'll make it to work. I think we'll still be fine on time. This like was not planned in the day, but we'll still be fine on time. I did make it to leg day today. It was really hard, but I did make it. I finished the rest of the assessment and diagnosis chapter. Easier than I thought it would be, not gonna lie. Still about 2 days ahead, so I decided I would stop even though it was 6:30. I feel like this vlog, this whole week, I am just comparing this week to last week. Every single day, I just am comparing this week to last week, and I don't think that's healthy for me. But I'm like, wow, this week has not been like as productive studying. But then I'm also like, why should it be? Like last week was great. I did a lot last week. I got into the routine of like starting to study again in my life. I don't know. I'm just like overthinking pretty much everything. Everything that I could overthink, I'm overthinking it, except for anything that would be productive. If it would be productive, I'm just not thinking it. I feel like some things have gone weird. They're starting to do exterior painting on my building, which is gonna be great. Like, love that they're keeping us so beautiful. Also means that the window in front of me is entirely covered by a semi-transparent tarp. Like, it's kind of letting the light in. It's really throwing me off. Do you wanna see what it looks like? Usually I can't just show you like straight out my window because safety reasons, but you can see my whole window right now if you would like to. This is very strange to me. I feel like that's throwing me off. It kind of makes me feel like I'm in this like weird simulation. Also, I don't want to get too deep into it. I'll get a little deep into it. We got our raises today. Like, we found out our annual raise, our merit raise, and I'm kind of disappointed. I'm actually quite disappointed. Maybe let me not downplay that. That's honestly probably why I'm like kind of in a bad mood. I just hate that because I feel like I've been sort of in a bad mood for a few days. But I was disappointed about my raise, and that kind of sucks. It does seem as though everyone kind of got the same raise, it appears, this year, and that all of it was like the minimum, which just kind of sucks. But I do keep trying to remind myself like any raise is me making more money. I also keep trying to remind myself like it is so good to have like goals, aspirations, know your worth, try to get paid your worth, like all of these things. And also in my head, I keep reminding myself like, Anna, you're 25 and you're trying to compare yourself to people who have many more years behind them. Like, I'm trying to be at step Z and I really need to do like my A, B, C, D. Like, maybe I'm on E now. I'm further than I used to be in my life. And also I'm 3 years out of grad school. Like, I don't need to have, well, okay, 3 years out of grad school and 25. Like, I guess I could back up to that part. Like, in the grand scheme of things, 25 simply is not old. And I'm doing well, I feel like, for where I'm at. But I was just hoping for more. I'll get more once I get my clinical license, but that's like a whole separate thing, you know? So it just felt kind of disappointing to me. I will be fine. I will be so thankful. I mean, if I see the paydays get bigger, then like, I'll be happy. I can get like an extra carton of eggs every 2 weeks. It's more than that. My raise will have me getting probably about like $60 extra per paycheck. So I won't pretend that that's nothing. Like, it's a little some. I just feel like in the past few days, sorry, this is like therapy session again. I feel like the past few days I am trying to make plans for the upcoming months, because for the first part of the year, I like knew everything that was coming up in the next months. I mean, we started with our wedding, and then like leading up to that, then we had the honeymoon to look forward to, and then like the various trips that we were taking, like the San Francisco in March, and then like going to Colorado in April, and then like my coworker's wedding that we went to, and then after all of that was camp. Like I just like I knew kind of the layout of what my next steps would be, and I feel like now we're at the point in the year where like, yes, my next step is an LCSW. That doesn't have a direct date on it. I knew that my raise was coming up, but it was like the unknown. We're getting to the point in the year where we're gonna have to decide like what our next living arrangements will be, whether that's re-signing or finding a different apartment. We don't have our re-sign offer yet, so like that's not yet, but it's coming up. So I feel like just a lot of those thoughts have been bouncing around in my head, even just like content ideas going forward, like that's bouncing around in my head of like what the next few months will look like. But everything's been like up in the air where I'm like, wow, things can go like any which way. There's so many things I don't know, and like I feel like I've just been thinking like very sunshine, butterflies, rainbows about everything. And so me getting like my first piece of information that like informs the next couple months, like I don't know, holding out for all of those different things, and then being like, oh, like I get to find out my raise, and then being disappointed by that. I feel like now it's like spiraling me into the like other things that I'm just like uncertain of, because I don't know what the next year like will look like. And so it's just becoming a spiral is what it's becoming. I do plan to, because I know sometimes there's like random topics that you may be curious about or like want me to talk more about, and obviously like don't know them, and you just like get to hear about whatever comes out of my brain and then comes out of my mouth, whatever circles around in my brain to the point that it spills out of my mouth. But I do plan on, whenever I hit 15,000 subscribers, doing a 15K Q&A. That's my goal, is 15K Q&A at whatever point that may be. That may be a few months from now, that may be next year. We'll see. If you're not subscribed and you'd like to get us closer to that, but I just never know how much to include like in different vlogs of like, do you want to hear about my raise? Like, do you want to hear the thoughts about like our lease coming up? Like, do you want to hear, I don't know, like talked about my wedding and then like it just disappeared because it happened, and so now it's like not a thing anymore. Like, do you want to hear any follow-up on that? Like, I just don't know. But if I hit 15K, then we can do a 15K Q&A, and then you can know all the things. My brain is so scrambled. I'm sure you can tell. Let me take a sip. My brain is so scrambled. I'm sure you can tell just from this clip itself. I think I literally just need to like put on noise canceling headphones and finish my book. I feel like that's the only thing that I should be doing for the rest of the night, is just that. And so I think I'm gonna do just that, and just hope that when I wake up tomorrow, my brain feels a little bit better. It's Friday morning, finally. This week has been harder to get through than others have been, as I'm so sure you're aware, but always the important thing is that Friday has hit. We'll go to work today. Friday, 4:30 p.m. will hit, and then it'll be the weekend. Some things that I know that I have in my day today: I have one care conference, which is whenever the medical team sits with family to discuss just like anything that needs to be discussed, make sure that there is proper time to like answer all questions, bring up all topics, so that a parent can feel empowered in their child's care and feel that they understand, and also get all of those like little nagging worries answered for them. This one specifically is focused on like goals to going home, which is a really big deal. So that'll be in my afternoon. I have several pieces of paperwork I need to catch up on, just kind of like admin-y, keeping track of things, papers for like different things that I've done this week. I just need to like fill those out. So that's gonna be kind of boring, but I mean, that's fine in the grand scheme of things. And then a couple forms that I already know I'm gonna need to fill out today, just like put in charts, things such as like if a kid is ever discharging to someone that's not their parent, then we obviously, or like legal guardian, then we obviously have to get like permission for that and document it and put the form in the chart and all of these things. So I know that I'm gonna be doing that today, and then probably making some phone calls, like if I haven't talked to a parent yet this week. I'm trying to get in the routine of just having Friday be my like phone call day, where I can kind of go through my patient list and see like, okay, if there's any parents that I haven't just spoken to this week, just calling so that I'm available to them if needed. Sometimes I'll call and they're like, nope, everything's good, I don't need anything, I don't have any questions, I don't need any help, perfect, sounds good, talk to you next week. Or sometimes they'll be like, ooh, like there is this thing. I don't know if you're the right person to ask. And I always love when people say that because I'm like, if I'm not, then I'll find out who can help you. So I'll probably do that today too. Whoop-de-doo Friday. I think things will be good. Last night, to be entirely honest, after I talked to you last night got worse. And it's a story that I think I'll probably tell you eventually, just not yet. But it really was like Anna in the very bad, terrible, what's that book called? I've titled a vlog this before, so I don't think I can do it twice. Anna in the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That was me yesterday, but that will not be me today. Not be me today. Okay, let's head to work. I've decided to tell you about the thing because I realized by the time this video goes live, we'll probably have something further. Like it's not as if it's going to be like an active investigation or something. So I figured I'll just tell you, but this has to relate. You'll never guess. This has to relate to the last time that I cried on my channel, which was January 2025, a few days before my wedding week vlog due to my videographer. And I expressed at that time that like video was the one thing I was so excited about for weddings. I used to watch like wedding videos growing up. I was like, oh my gosh, someday I'll have a wedding video. Like I was just so excited for it. I really thought I loved the company that we chose starting back from like this time last year, June 2024. We found them and I was like watching their portfolio and I was like, these videos are amazing. They're so good. And I was inquiring with several companies and this one actually had their prices listed on their website, which was like a really great thing as a bride because I wanted to know like more upfront, like can I afford, does it seem reasonable what this videography company will charge? And so I like filled out their contact form, contacted them, set up an initial call with someone, did that initial call on June 7th, and then had a follow-up video call, both me and Zach together on June 11th. We really loved the person we were talking to. She was so nice, she was so kind. She was telling us all about the process of the video, like what we would do between that call and the wedding day itself, and like their creative process, the editing, like how they craft a story, all of these things. Loved it. And after that video call, we got an offer that was like, if you book with us, like secure your date by the end of the week, then you get a guest book film also added on for free, which was an add-on that we were already planning on paying for. So we're like, that's a great deal. Love a guest book film. And so we paid the deposit and booked our date with this company. It was $1,000 deposit. And the things that came with the package were a 7-minute wedding, they call it a wedding highlights film, just like the wedding videos that you see around, a 7-minute wedding video, a ceremony film, the guest book film, which we were like, oh great, because that's like more sentimental to us than a guest book. Like we were having that in place of our guest book. They were supposed to go around during cocktail hour and like get each guest who was willing to participate and like have them say a little message or something like that. And we were really looking forward to that. And then it came with a toasts film, but we already knew at that point that we weren't doing toasts. So they offered to switch it for a formal dances film. So like a film of Zach and my first dance, his dance with his mom and my dance with my mom, a film of that. And we knew we wanted that too. One, just because special, and two, because we were going to get our first dance choreographed. And so we're like, oh, that would be incredible to have like that on film. So we signed for all of those things. And that was the last time we heard from the videography company until the like weeks leading up to my wedding. Outside of automated emails. Now, to work on site as a vendor for a wedding, like at a venue, it's pretty typical to need a certificate of insurance, like showing that the vendor has insurance so that like if anything were to happen to the venue, that's the vendor's fault, like they have insurance for that, basically is what the like certificate of insurance is, which my venue let me know that this vendor's COI was not up to date and so they needed a new one. And so I started reaching out to the videography company being like, hi, can you send an updated certificate of insurance before my wedding? I reached out to them and I'm pretty sure I even know the dates pretty exactly actually because I had to piece it all together into a freaking email yesterday. Yep, here we go. I emailed asking for the COI, which is like a very easy document as long as you have it, on December 1st and December 10th. On December 16th, I got responded to and they said that they would look for it and they would send it immediately. And then I didn't hear anything again. I responded on December 17th saying thank you, please don't forget, because at that point like I waited 24 hours and then didn't get anything. So I responded on December 17th, emailed again on December 19th, emailed again on January 2nd, emailed again on January 6th, and then on January 7th they sent an incomplete version of that form, which I didn't know was incomplete. I was like, yes, like everything's taken care of, sent it to my venue, and they were like, that's not filled out. I was like, oh, crazy. And so then it took me calling, my venue coordinator calling, more emails, emailing like literally every single contact little direction that we could find for this company, being like, we need this document, because the venue was like, without the vendor having this document, they're not going to be allowed on the venue. And so that's where I was crying in my wedding week video, because it was like at that point they hadn't sent it and they weren't responding, and it was like like, well, now they're not gonna be able to film my wedding. So I was like, shoot, I'm not gonna have a wedding video. Eventually things worked out. It was like 2 days before my wedding. They finally sent the completed document. I finally had a call with my lead cinematographer, which was supposed to happen like a few weeks before the wedding and just never did. And I also learned that the one employee that we talked to back in June, whenever we booked, no longer worked with the company. So I was like, okay, maybe this makes a little sense. Like if that one person is gone, it seems as though things aren't as great anymore. But they came on our wedding day. The videographers had no idea that we were getting a guest book film. I like had to tell them about that, and they were like, huh, what is that? And I was like, well, let me explain it to you, I guess, but it seems like I shouldn't have to. But anyways, they were there for the wedding. 2 people filmed it the whole time, like we're with cameras around. They like did interviews with me and Zach. We like put mics on at different times. They like recorded our first look, recorded our vows, like we're there for the whole reception, recorded the ceremony, all these things. And I was like, oh, great. Oh, I forgot to add this part. Whenever we were on the booking call originally, I do remember asking how long the turnaround time was after a wedding, and I was told maximum 3 months. And I was like, oh, that's kind of far, but also was like, okay, it's a wedding video, like it takes longer, so maybe that's like reasonable. I was like, okay, maximum 3 months. But that was the last time I'd heard that was from that one person who didn't work there anymore back in June, and now this is January. And so after the wedding on January 21st, I emailed just to confirm the expected delivery date, that we could expect our deliverables, and also asked if the raw footage could be sent sooner than that. The raw footage came with the package too, because I was just like excited to see it. So I was like, just wanted to confirm the time frame of like when the deliverables are expected, and also when the raw footage is, if that's different. Emailed on January 21st with no response, January 24th, February 7th, March 23rd, April 11th, and then also June 14th. All of these with literally no answer. On March 4th, I got the download link. No, I got the link to a shared Google Drive that had raw footage on it. And it like, I don't have to get into all the nitty-gritty details, but like half of it we couldn't actually download because the file name was like incorrect. Like it started with a dot, and that just like confused Google Drive. So we like can't convert it. And then the other half of it's filmed in D-Log, which is like, I could color grade it probably, I don't know, but like it just is more effort. But that's like the rawest of raw footage. Like I suppose that's what they said they'd give us, even though like it came with the package. So like, I don't know. But literally just sent that. And so my March email that I sent them was like in response to that, I was like, thank you so much. Can I confirm like what the expected time frame is? My email on June 14th says, and this one was the first one that like all of my other ones were like, hey, just checking in. Haven't heard from you. What's going, like when should I expect it? I'm so excited. Thank you so much. This was the first one that I like tried to be a little more assertive. I said, hello, I'm reaching out to inquire about the status of my wedding video. We were married on January 19th, 2025. So now we're approaching our 5-month anniversary with no communication on when to expect the deliverables. This is not the timeline that had been discussed prior to booking. I would feel much better if I had been updated on when to expect the videos, even if they were delayed. Not receiving any return communication, coupled with the extreme length of time it has been since our wedding, since it had been almost double what they had told us back in June whenever we booked, coupled with the extreme length of time it had been since our wedding without final products is worrisome, especially with the thousands of dollars that we paid. Please advise when my husband and I can expect to receive our wedding video. All my best. No answer to that. I guess I should say we paid the $1,000 deposit, and then the remaining fee was $3,700, which honestly I should have like withheld until they got the documents, but I was like worried to get like a late fee or something, and at that point just like really wanted a wedding videographer because I wouldn't have like really been able to get another one with that time frame. Anyways, no answer to that email. However, last night, and this was the thing that I like didn't tell you about because I was a little worked up. I was a lot worked up. But Zach looked over at me. I was sitting on the couch. Zach looked over at me and he was like, check your inbox. And I was like, oh, what's in my inbox? He was like, just check your inbox. So I'm like refreshing my inbox. Nothing's coming up. I was like, I have like a La Colombe promo, like Lululemon sent me an email. Like, what are you saying? And then he looked at it and he goes, oh wait, this wasn't sent to you. So he forwarded me the email. There's an email from our wedding videography people where they left out a letter of my name. Basically like in the Anna part of my email, they just put NNA. So it did not get sent to me. It had to get forwarded to me by Zach, which in the grand scheme of things is like not the biggest deal. It's just like icing on the cake, you know? Did not get sent to me. The subject was wedding video delivery day. It says, hi Anna and Zach, congratulations on getting hitched, in all caps. Your wedding video is ready. I hope you love it. Here is a link to watch and download your video. And there's 2 links. And it says, thank you again for inviting us to capture your special day. All the best. And then the team. So no acknowledgement to any previous communication I sent. No like, sorry it took a while, like sorry to have not answered you, or like I know you've been excited. Like I don't know. No acknowledgement of the past 5 months of not hearing from them. And then, if you remember whatever I listed in the beginning of what we were supposed to get, what we ended up getting was a wedding video that's 6 minutes and 55 seconds long. That's not a hill I'm gonna die on. Also, I feel like if it's a 7-minute wedding video, you'd think that it would at least like hit 7 minutes. Like you could just add one extra clip in there and it would hit 7 minutes. No. And a 1-minute Instagram edit, which is like a thing that people do. And that's an add-on that we could have added on. We didn't add that on. What we were supposed to get though was the ceremonies film, the formal dances film, and the guest book film, which honestly honestly, from the raw footage we received, it seems as though maybe about 5 guests, some in like little groups, were included in the guestbook film out of 125 guests. So it doesn't really seem like that got done, but definitely did not get sent to us. And then on top of that, we were watching the wedding video, and this in my head, I was like, should we record this moment? Like, I'm so excited to see this video. Should we record this moment? Like our live reaction to our wedding video? If I had recorded me watching the wedding video, you would have seen my face just like slowly and slowly get more and more still. You would have seen like a very dramatic like fist being balled. I don't get mad that often, like where I feel it in my body. Sorry, it was telling me that the battery's almost out and I'm like yapping a lot. And then some like hot angry tears start coming down my cheeks a little bit because the video was really bad and not at all of the same quality that their portfolio is. I genuinely think I could have paid someone $50 and given them my camera and they could have come up with a better video than what was sent to us. And honestly, like my biggest complaint on it is the color grading, which sounds like a specific nitpicky complaint, except for the fact that it's bad enough you like notice it throughout the video. It'll jump like between clips and you'll be like, whoa, like why does it look like there's a 2012 Instagram filter on this? Like it doesn't take me having like very amateur video editing skills to be like, oh, that's strange. It like actually just is very strange. Like for example, I don't know if it'll register on camera, but like that's one that's poor, and then this one is like a clip right after it. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that, but maybe I could insert the pictures. You can just see like they're very different from each other, so it like jumps between that. Like you can tell what camera it's being filmed on based on the color grading. That's really bad. It was distracting the whole video. And then there was like other things where they included the entire audio of me and Zach being like, hey, thanks for traveling so far to be with us, like we're so glad you're here, enjoy the food, enjoy dinner, like, and get to know the people around you, let's eat, and then we'll dance after that. Like that whole entire audio was included, which like sure is like kind of cute, but like our vows were left out. Which like why is that the case? And then of the 6 minutes and 55 seconds, the actual like reception dancing starts at 6 minutes and 30 seconds when that was like 3 hours of the night and like our most fun time of the night. And I know they have a lot of good video clips from it because I can see them in the raw footage that I can see, like the half of it that I can see them. So I was so freaking pissed last night, which is, like I said, like not a very common emotion for me. So on top of that, like we didn't get the films that we were supposed to get. And then the one that we did get that's supposed to be the main one just like sucks. And I'm so bummed about it, which is a nice way of saying I was freaking pissed last night. So I'm trying to get my money back, honestly, because out of the whole entire experience, like that is not, one, we didn't get what we wanted, what we signed the contract for. 2, it came late. 3, the one that we did get, like it's a marked difference. Like whether or not you ever notice anything in video quality, like I could show you one of the ones that's on their website, that's the portfolio that they advertise, and then I could show you mine and you'd be like, oh, like I don't even want to send it to people. I don't want to post it. I don't want people to see it because it just like is not good. It's like kind of embarrassing. And I'm like, that's crazy that this is what I splurged on because I was like, oh, they're gonna be so good. So I don't know what the update's gonna be whenever you're watching this in the future, but I'm trying to get my money back because it is bad and I'm bummed about it. And eventually I do plan on leaving a 1-star Google review. My big weapon. I hope that this does not happen to any other bride because maybe I'll be able to take some of the raw footage and like edit something together of my own, but I'm really not sure, especially if it's like the footage's fault. And that's the story of why I was really freaking mad yesterday. And it's like not better now, but my emotions are not as strong now. I still feel the same way, but not like physically, you know? Anyways, tonight the agenda is no studying. Woot woot, gave myself the night off because I'm gonna start editing this video actually itself. So see y'all in a second. I could just end off the video. Thanks for joining me this week. This week was weird. I don't really know what to title it. I don't know what to put in the thumbnail. I don't know what the vibes are. I don't know what you were seeking whenever you came to this video. I'm not sure if it's what actually ended up happening, but I love that you wanted to spend time with me anyways. Really appreciate that. Subscribe before you go. If you want to see the bad wedding video, let me know. It's not like all bad. Like there's cute moments, but I really think it's just because we're cute. And I could have given someone my camera for the quality that we received. I should not go back off on that tangent. Subscribe before you go. I really appreciate you. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.